I'm going to talk about oral thrush, which is like a candida type yeast white tongue situation, and a high carb diet. Now normally candida, which is like this fungus yeast structure, lives inside your body and it doesn't bother you unless you take an antibiotic and kill off all the bacteria that are keeping this candida in check. And when you do that, you throw things out of balance, then you get an overgrowth of this yeast, and that's when you get candida. And if it's in the mouth, it's called thrush, and it's white tongue. But what's very interesting, you can also develop this by consuming a lot of sugar, because guess what it eats? Sugar. It ferments sugar, all types of sugar, milk sugar, table sugar, fructose, even things that turn into sugar pretty quick, like refined grains and starches. So any carbohydrate that you can ferment can turn this somewhat neutral candida into an unfriendly version of candida. And when it becomes unfriendly, they call it candidiasis. And it can live in the vaginal area, the skin, the throat, the mouth, and that's called thrush. It can grow in your esophagus. It can live in your GI tract. People that are at risk for getting this oral thrush are people that take steroids, people that are under a lot of stress, because stress inhibits the immune system. If someone has HIV, they're going to be at risk. If someone's taking birth control pills or estrogen, they can be at risk because too much estrogen can actually cause this situation as well. And of course, if you're diabetic, because all this extra sugar is going to feed this yeast-like candida structure. And I already mentioned antibiotics. So if you have oral thrush, one of the best remedies is grapefruit seed extract. Not grape seed extract, grapefruit seed extract. You just take 10 drops in about 3 tablespoons of water, slug it on down, do that 1 to 3 times per day. You can also keep it in your mouth and swish it around for like maybe 20 seconds and then swallow it. That might help. But grapefruit seed extract is a very effective natural antifungal. Recently, I stumbled on something very fascinating relating to candida, and I want to share this with you. Now, candida is a fungal infection. It's kind of like a yeast infection, and people can get it in their mouth. They can get it in their private parts, toenails, and it usually comes after an antibiotic as a side effect because you have all these bacteria that keep the yeast and fungus and molds in check. The great majority of your microbiome in your gut is bacteria, but you have a small percentage of this yeast and fungus and friendly candida. So everything is in balance. But when you wipe out a lot of your bacteria, you create more space for this candida to grow and become a bit pathogenic. So you get itchiness, burning, fatigue, and various symptoms from that. You can even get cracks in the corner of your mouth. About 20% of the time, that's candida. And when I was in practice, I would notice that certain patients coming in had this odor of ammonia, and that's usually coming from this candida overgrowth. It'll change your pH, okay? It releases ammonia from the breakdown products of simple sugars. When you go up on the pH, you make things more alkaline, and it can survive more. So candida can actually survive more of an alkaline environment versus an acidic environment. And this is why when you have this good balance of microbes in your large intestine, it's on the acidic side. But candida changes the pH. And so it does it through its primary fuel, which is sugar, okay? I'm gonna come back to that at the end, but I wanna share something very interesting. There's other conditions that lower your immune system that cause this overgrowth as well. HIV or AIDS, if you have an organ transplant, if you were on prednisone, like steroids, if you're pregnant, or if you eat a lot of sugar, especially fructose. All of them either create or have at the same time a vitamin D deficiency. So when I was looking at vitamin D, I noticed that it had an antifungal property. And when I looked into it a little bit more, I found out it's a really good, effective, broad spectrum antimicrobial. Now, probably because it really helps build up your immune system, your defenses, and all of those items I mentioned really have an effect on the immune system. If you have candida, there's 3 things you need to do. Start taking vitamin D, maybe 20, 30,000 IUs immediately. Number 2, cut out the fuel for candida. Its primary fuel is glucose. If you stop eating sugar right now, go on keto, you can starve it to death. And 3, start consuming probiotic foods like a little sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented pickles, or maybe a little non-sweetened kefir. So I just wanted to keep this video real simple, short, to the point. Great remedy to help someone if they're struggling with Candida. And if you're not signed up on my private email on my website, drberg.com, I give away a lot of content that's not on YouTube. If you want to check it out, I put a link down below in the description. I will see you on the other side.